Text in at 877-881-1053. Where are you with Dak Prescott going into this season? What do you think about last year's performance in those 8 games, the 8 picks? Wasn't good. Not a lot of offense. Okay, we're going to hear from a longtime NFL films analyst, get his takeaways on what he saw here in just a second. Segment's brought to you by Cars for Kids. Donate today, carsforkids.org. It's brought to you by the Frankels. Life's unpredictable. Accidents happen. If you or a loved one's injured in a car or truck wreck, call the Frankels for a free consultation, 214 or 817-333-3333. Go online at frankelfirm.com. Here's Greg Cassell on Dak's film 2024.
You know, I went through, believe it or not, Ross, you know the kind of stuff I do. I went through all of Dak Prescott's throws from last year. And I got to tell you, it was not an easy watch. I came away almost believing that there was something wrong with his lower body. Now, he's 32 years old, and he's had a lot of lower body injuries. He was very tight-hipped. He was very heavy-footed. His balance was off. It did not look good last year, even before he left for the season, I guess week 9 or 10 with the hamstring injury.
So tight-hipped, heavy-footed, balance off. Once you do reconstruction of the lower leg like that, I think it's totally different than other injuries that athletes get repaired. Everything is more repairable. It's just too intricate down there. The ligaments, all the different bones. And, for myself, being somebody that went through ankle reconstruction, the first training camp back, I thought, whoa. Okay. Now looking at the Steelers training camp in Latrobe in Pennsylvania, Aaron Rodgers coming back from Achilles, age 42, hitching his giddy up. And I think age is hitting Dak Prescott significantly faster as a result of that injury. And then you take away Tyron Smith at left tackle, which is going to require a lot more off-script movement, shifting and sliding in the pocket, maybe getting out and running. So I do think that this year is make or break for Dak Prescott. Like, I need to see that he can do it at 877-881-1053. Where are you with him? What's the most definitive thing you would say going into this 2025 season tonight, Wolchuk?
I'd agree, especially with the picks now that they've got. Like, they are in a position where if they decide, hey, we really love Lenora Sellers, just for example, like, you've got ammunition to try and go up and get a player like that now. So there's no excuse to not be having an eye out for your franchise quarterback. And if Dak plays well, then I don't think they're going to be doing that. I think they're going to be looking at how can we continue to add talent around him. But if he were to, 1, get hurt again, or 2, it is another struggle this season, I don't know how they can lie to themselves and say that this guy is still capable of being a player that can lead us to a Super Bowl. You can't. And I think that maybe there was a light bulb moment, even though I think it really was feelings that got in the way. Otherwise, Mike is here. But maybe that is something where it's like, okay, now that happened, maybe we should look at how we're building this thing. And Dak might not be the right guy for us moving forward. But I do think Dak's going to end up having a bounce-back year. History says after an injury, he usually does. But they are playing against a lot of really good defenses. And maybe that will prove to us that, yes, that is the scouting report on Dak. If he's playing against the bad teams, he's going to feast on them. But when you're going up against one of the best defenses in the league, it's going to be a struggle. And they've got plenty of them on the schedule this year.
That's a good point. I wonder if late in the Micah drama they said, this wasn't our plan, but this isn't a bad, unintended consequence of it. We free up the picks to possibly move up in the cap space, maybe to eat his contract if we want to go in that direction. 682, I feel like he's scared to get hurt again after his ankle. He changed. And Dak used to have an ability to say, our offense isn't working. Hold my beer and watch this. I'm going to get us a couple of first downs. We'll make the defense honor my running a little bit, and then, the game could change. That's ultimately where he got hurt 5 years ago or something. It was against the Giants, and the offense was sputtering, so he started running them down the field. And it was incredible to know that your quarterback had that ability when all hell was breaking loose and you couldn't get first downs to just go take them on his own. And now he doesn't do that. 817, if Dak is bad this year, we need to cut bait, combo some picks, and go get a top quarterback. 214, Gavin, Dak has been dealing with Tyron not being there his whole career. Tyron has, maybe 1 or 2 healthy seasons. Dak's whole career, I mean, it was off and on. And I felt like for the last 4 years or something, we got a glimpse of what life was going to be like without Tyron. Like the 2022 year where everybody was worried about his picks because he led the league in 12 games. That was no Tyron Smith. Then 2023, it's near MVP with Tyron Smith back. So Trust me, I've thought about this. I've looked at the games. I've looked at games played for Tyron Smith and how it correlates with Dak Prescott's success. And I think it's all coming together at a horrible time for him. He debuted in the NFL in 2016 with the best offensive line and rookie Zeke, and it was an unbelievable place for him. I mean, Cole Beasley and Witten and Dalton Schultz, and then Amari Cooper comes on board. You had Des Bryant. I mean, everything has been perfect for him, and I think now this is amongst the worst supporting cast that you could hope when you look at last year, especially the offensive line quality. Let's go to Brian Broaddus, former Cowboy scout. Where are you with Dak going into this year? Would you agree it's a make or break year for him?
Oh, clearly it's a make or break year for him. I think, though, where I disagree with Greg, I think the biggest problem with Dak Prescott is the vision. I think the pre-snap stuff, I don't see what he's talking about with the tightness and stuff like that. I think that's how Dak plays. I think when you watch him throw the ball, he's kind of always been an overhand thrower.
Sure. And
so that's always that kind of style. It's we've talked about through the years where guys have tried to get him to point the knee, point the elbow, point the shoulder, and those kinds of things. I think it's more like the mechanics. But to me, where I think the problems lie with Dak is like what he sees pre-snap and does he predetermine where he might want to throw the ball. And to me, the vision of him, even being now 10 years into this thing, that's the thing that always worries me about him. Because his throwing style has never, ever been pretty. It never has. Now, we've seen him throw some pretty passes. We've seen him throw with touch. We've seen him throw, but as a quarterback coming in the league, his mechanics were horrible. And they've gotten better. But I don't see the tightness. I just think the biggest problems and issues with Dak are the ones where he has to potentially read and then make that throw. That's the thing that I would say when you watch Dak that I would worry about him the most.
What is that thing that he struggles with? Is it the simulated pressures when guys show like they're coming and then they drop?
There's times where he gets fooled. He thinks that teams have done a really nice job of where they've shown him a specific look, and it's usually linebackers that give him problems. And it's usually kind of in the middle of the field where he's like trying to make a throw, and then all of a sudden it's not like a drop end and a linebacker blitzer. It's more like he does not see a linebacker drop into an area, or he doesn't anticipate a linebacker dropping into an area. And there's quarterbacks that when they go up to the line, they know, okay, this coverage, I'm going to get that guy he's throwing the ball at times like predetermined, like I don't think that guy's going to be there, but defensive coordinators have baited him into some throws.
Yeah.
Because they know I think this is Mike McCarthy not helping him a damn bit. With you look at way that offense is, that offense, there was nothing dynamic about that offense at all.
Yeah, he had to be perfect.
The slants, the curls, the hitches, all those things. All of a sudden you get a defensive coordinator that can kind of say, okay, I'm this down a distance. I know I'm going to probably get a hitch.
Yeah, just so predictable.
Yeah, and all of a sudden now they show him a look like, okay, throw that slant, and then all of a sudden there's a guy. They bait you into throwing the slant, and you got a guy standing right there.
I like that. I think there's hope in there. I think there's some chicken soup in your Cowboy soul right there for you.
Well, it's 10 years of this.
Sure, absolutely. So bad head coaches.
It's not,
and like 4 different coordinators.
Yeah,
maybe 5.
That's been a problem. I just feel like pre-snap, that's where he's at his worst at times.
Okay, up next here in the CNOTE, Morning News did predictions. It was a clean sweep for the Eagles. Brian might be one of the few media members out there picking Cowboys. Maybe they're giving the Eagles too much respect. If you wanted to draw up how the Cowboys can get this done, an emotional game, could you imagine that the guys want to prove this team is a lot more than Micah Parsons?
Absolutely. I think that's when like you throw in the addition by subtraction stuff, the galvanizing. Like people are writing you off. Micah was your entire defense. Go ahead and put that up there, the bulletin board material of the EPA. Micah's on the field, you're the best. Micah's off, you stink, you're the worst, right? Defense is such a team sport that I do think that there is something to be said about that. And Kenny Clark is filling what was their biggest weakness. Who steps up now? Donovan Ezeraku, people were excited about you. You had 2 bad preseason games. You're trying stuff out. Nobody thinks you're any good. Sam Williams, you're coming off an injury. Go out there and earn your money. You're on a contract year, right? Dante Fowler Jr., you've only been good when Dan Quinn's been your coach. Go show him it's not DQ. You are a good football player. Marshawn Nealon, you're in year 2. Step up now, right? So I think like Osa and Kenny Clark getting pressure up the middle is big. But also, can you get some turnovers? Jalen Hurts will turn the football over now, whether it's running and you can strip the ball from him, or you got your ball hawks back. How many games have Bland and Diggs played together? Not many.
Yeah.
Go out there and get us excited. Make some plays. Donovan Wilson, you're still around because you're a big play type of guy. Solomon Thomas is a backup defensive tackle, can be a David Irving-like splash player, and he's been really good with defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton. So there are still talented football players. Like Maris Leofau can turn out to be a really good linebacker. He's going into year 2. And Eberflus is the linebacker whisperer. So I still think there are parts of this defense where I'm not writing them off. I still think they can find a way to be solid this year. And if they're middle of the pack, how good we think this offense can be, that's where you get to double-digit wins.
I mean, yeah, what if this offense can run the ball and they're a top 5 offense, you have an average defense? Then I think your best-case scenario creeps into double-digit win land.
Yeah, they've got to figure out a way to play the front 7. If it's going to be the kind that plays on the move, that doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with people, that like having Clark helps a little bit more power inside. But if they're going to play on the move and all that, it's going to be about being able to like not take unnecessary chances. If it says go A gap, go A gap. If the other guy's got the B, go B. It's got to be assignment football. If they do not play assignment football, they will get killed in the running game. They absolutely will get killed. But we've seen them at times when they've been able to fill the gaps, everybody take a responsibility, and linebackers over the top, and a safety coming down, and a corner. We've seen them against the Ravens in the preseason when it looks the right way. Yep. When everybody fills a gap, we've seen them been able to play really good defense, and that's what it's going to take. But if you have a bunch of guys playing hero ball and jumping gaps and not playing responsibilities and assignments, and that's a little bit of a Micah Parsons problem too.
There you go.
Micah Parsons is one of those guys that might not always play the right assignment. He might play a little hero ball with you. So to me, that's where this Dallas run defense, if they're spot on with their fits, they'll be okay in the run game.
You think Shotty got these boys together? I'm talking about mentally now.
I think
because
so.
when I see CeeDee Lamb talking about Parsons being gone, his shoulders are all slumped down. That type of thing is going on in that locker room. That's what I say. Oh, man, he's gone. Our guy's gone.
Yeah.
We're not.
There's that possibility as well.
That defeated feeling that they're already feeling defeated. I don't like that.
Could deflate them. I think that, everything is in the air and possible with the kickoff coming up at 7:20 here on The Fan. Your new coaching staff, their ability to get the guys together, to fix their run defense, to play more discipline, to eliminate the turnovers, and then to ask questions of the opposition's defense with your scheme offensively does leave anything to be possible. I do want to say it appears Dan Orlovsky has the worst take of week 1 of the NFL season, saying Sirianni and Hurts are the modern day Belichick and Brady. That one takes the cakes for Danny O, doesn't it?
Unbelievable. Yeah, that'll be worst take tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with the boys.